Hello. How many of you have a struggle with handwriting? And how many of you who have raised the hands used to have a very good handwriting during the school days or back then when they were a kid? A fair amount of percentage. That is the story with most of us. As a student, as a kid, when we had just started, we really used to have very good handwriting. And now, that flow, that symmetry is nowhere to be found. The reason is manifold. At least in my case, I used to have a gem-like handwriting when I was in school. People used to take my copy as an example to this is what we are supposed to write. Or probably the teacher used to parade my notebook to show how good some handwritings and some assignments can be, and this is how everyone in the classroom shall follow. Imagine that notebook written in my handwriting, and now it's being shown. I really feel ashamed. I'd do anything to disidentify that notebook from myself. That will happen. But when we are growing up, what happened that made us lose our that rhythm in writing? What is the problem? Well, at least in my case, I had started pretty well, but I never stressed upon writing it in a speed. And I think when I was buying time, I was able to put my all of my attention on the way the curves were made, and they were perfect while I was writing slow. And no effort was made to incorporate that quality of writing equally good while I was writing fast. Those who could adapt did pretty well, and even today they have a more advanced form of writing where it doesn't look like every alphabet is segregated, but it's much more in a connected, beautiful manner. Some do have a decorative style of writing where they develop curve, and when they're writing in a flow, it looks really elegant. But as today, when I look what happened wrong, there are so many factors, and this had become so worse during my college time that in one of the practical lessons, the computer sir came and I hadn't written the file. So I had written it in the time when the roll number 1 was being called and I was the 20th, so there were a few minutes before I was about to be called, and I completed my 2 or 3 pages of assignment as the lab work that we used to do in every classroom. I completed it, and when my turn came, he looked at my assignment, turned the page around, saw my face, and asked, "Have you written this while riding a horse?" Now I was laughing. In fact, it made me laugh too. And he said, "You should have written something better. I mean, what happened? What's the hell wrong with you?" This had started when, after 10th standard, I stopped writing at all. I was just having the rough copy in my hands on which I used to practice the numericals. And there was no as such fluency in the hand which we used to have until 10th while writing the long answers of the academics. In 12th, though I appeared for the boards, this gap of 2 years was much more for me to lose the sheen of a great handwriting. Now you are 10 or 15 years down the line into your career, and now as you look back, you have a feeling that if you can just restore that elegance of crafted letters which look so beautiful, it was you only which used to write so well. So what happened now? I think there's never too late to work on something, and it has to start slow and back again to the basics where it all had started. First is just look if you're holding the pen in the wrong manner. This is one of the first thing that we do wrong. Do you even remember when we were first being taught to hold the pen correctly? I think that time it must have been pencil rather than pen. Most of us, at least me, hold the pen with four fingers, which is wrong. It puts unnecessary pressure on this middle finger, which tries to struggle with third, and overall it's like you're fighting while writing. So it should be with the three fingers. Fine, smooth and graceful, just three fingers. Next, you should take a workbook in which preferably there are guiding lines, and just look again for that curvature where exactly it's going. Take your time, practice A, B, C, D again. Yes, you heard it right. Practice those alphabets again. Maybe fill the entire page with A, with B. Never mind who's thinking what about you, what they may judge. It's all you. It has to start. And then when you think that you have got all the curves of the alphabet, look carefully. Try to purchase a book on calligraphy in which you look the way letters are made. There are many fonts that stick to the original form of English fonts that will teach you what is the right way of forming that curve that makes it look so beautiful. Watch that carefully, try to emulate it. Whenever you get the time, start writing those A, B, C, D, E, F, each and every alphabet very carefully. Then with words, then with letters. Make it a habit that put aside half hour of time, write those down. Then put no urgency. Let it be slow as you used to have during your childhood. Let it be slow and try to make an elegant figure out of it. Shouldn't be over flourishing, but at least a decent one. Do that, and you'll surprise yourself. And it's never too late to recorrect something that you might have been making it wrong all this time, and you'll feel better. Improving is always better. Never give up. Make the diary, put that time aside. Whenever you get the time, it's such a beautiful thing that even if you're in metro, maybe in metro you won't get that much of stillness, but if you're waiting on a platform or waiting for a meeting, you can do that. So just do that and see how it progresses. And rest all tips may be discussed later in the upcoming videos. That's all for today. Over to you. Bye. Take care.